Good morning and welcome back to Spurs Latest. I am your host, Trip Graham. As always, so happy to have you here. Got so much to talk about with our Spurs. Let's get it started. We have so much going on around the NBA, and we got it all taken care of here at Spurs Latest. So, first, we're going to talk about our Spurs. The Spurs rolled over the Bulls, just an absolute dominant performance again from Wemby. 41 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. 17 of 27 from the field with 4 of 4 from free throws. It's insane he's only getting 4 free throws in these games. It's absolutely insane that, with all that production, they're only letting him get 4 free throws per game. I mean, for us, his height guy, you imagine him only getting 4 free throws in a game is pretty crazy. And he only did this 41 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists in only 31 minutes. An unbelievable, consistent game. It was against the Bulls, so let's just say that, we're playing one of those G League teams down the stretch that aren't really trying that hard. Bulls are one of the, interesting teams in the league. I don't see that they don't have much, working out for them. They don't have much, where they're building up from. Bulls are an interesting team that don't have much upside for them. They're gonna have to get really good in the draft, but they only have that middle tier. They don't have one of the top 5 picks, so it's kind of a bad in between point for the Bulls at this point. Um, they probably should be going in on all trying to get Giannis this offseason. Don't think it will be possible. Don't think they'll have the package for it. Um, they got tons of second round picks over there. But yeah, it's an interesting situation with the Bulls. Don't know where it's really progressing to, as they don't have much direction. They just don't have a leader on that team. Just got, if everyone just saw that Jaden Ivey just got cut from the Bulls over conduct off the court. So Bulls really just reeling from all angles on the court, off the court drama. So other things from this game: Champagny 13 points, Fox 7, Vassell 6, Castle 21, Keldon Johnson 15. Harper 13. Really good performance all around from our guys. Dylan Harper, it just continues to be coming into his own. Third overall pick this year and is going to be a star in this league. Reminds me a lot of, Dwayne Wade. So unbelievable player. Really love watching Dylan Harper on our team, and it's unbelievable that we have Harper along with Castle and Vassell. Just our guards are stacked along with Fox, obviously. We just have an unbelievably stacked guards room. We did go with kind of a smaller lineup last night. That is one thing that I did notice. We did have, we're trying to maybe shore up our lineup as we go into the postseason, even, these kind of like test games against like Bulls. We didn't play Kelly Olynyk, Waters, Biombo, Plumlee, or McLaughlin last night. So yeah, really shored up our lineup last night. Went down to 10 players. And then, obviously I don't expect to see a lot of Carter Bryant or Luke Cornett come playoffs times. Obviously, I think our bench will really be shored up. Barnes, Johnson, and Harper will be our main 3 off the bench. Definitely Keldon Johnson will be our 6-man. Could be winning 6-man of the year, which is just so exciting. Keldon Johnson has been really, really killing it this year. Really proud of that. So we potentially have Coach of the Year, Mitch Johnson. I think it's going to go to Missoula over on the Boston Celtics just based on how they've been performing with, Brown and Tatum each been out for some stretches. Brown has obviously had an MVP season, and it's supposed to be a gap year for that Boston Celtics, and it did not end up being that. They're in full force going into the playoffs. So really exciting for them. I want to see how that turns out. So other things with this, We're going to be going dominating. We got the Warriors tonight, so really looking forward to that game. Obviously, the Warriors are another team that have just been injury prone all season, just really been bad all season for them. Obviously, Steph Curry is their biggest factor being out. Jimmy Butler, obviously, being out is huge for them. And then, Moses Moody had one of the worst injuries I've ever seen, that knee injury last week. Awful. So hope he's doing well. The Al Horford experiment really has not worked out well for the Warriors, and I wonder if he is regretting ever going to the Warriors. And then, what's his name? Kristaps Porzingis. He has had a weird situation where he's had that off the court illness, not been able to play to his full potential of amount of games. When he's on the court, he's dominating. So it's a really weird situation for Kristaps Porzingis. So hope he can stay healthy. I think the league is better, and I think it's just great to see Kristaps Porzingis. He's been a really catalyst in this league, and a face of this league for a long time now. He's been around forever, in a lot of different capacities. I mean, I will never forget how much the Knicks fans booed him. Unbelievable. He did bring a joy back to that city, and he was a catalyst for getting that team back to being good. So shout out Kristaps Porzingis for them. Other things with this. So let's check in on the standings really quickly. Got just only a couple weeks left in the standings, so let's do this. We got only a couple of games left. 8 games left for us in the standings. OKC as that got that 2.5 game lead on us. So I don't think it's gonna be going away, but man can hope. Man can hope. They are just unbelievable. OKC. I think that SGA is the MVP, but we're gonna talk a little about that. Lakers have been heating up. They have been unbelievable on the second half of the season. Lakers with Luka Doncic, just unbelievable second half of the season. He's really been heating up with Austin Reeves. They're 49-26 and surging. They got the tiebreaker over Denver, or 2 games over Denver at this point. So it looks like they're going to be able to secure that 3rd seed. But we will see. Denver 48-28 in that 4th seed. So we will see how this plays out. Checking in on the East, it looks like Detroit has wrapped up the East, 54-21 with 4 games over the Boston Celtics. They were able to, calm that storm that, with Cade Cunningham out. So Boston Celtics will be the number 2 seed, with the New York Knicks 2 games behind the Boston Celtics, 48-27. Cleveland is in that 4th seed, 47-28. Toronto 5th seed. They have, figured themselves out this season, Toronto. They can't beat any of the top 4 teams, which is interesting, but they have, overperformed, I would say, this season, definitely. So shout out Toronto, doing really well. And then Atlanta, who has definitely overperformed this season. Obviously, getting rid of Trae Young, they didn't know if they were going to, kind of hit the reset button. Everyone thought they were going to be hitting the reset button. But Jalen Johnson is clearly the cornerstone in that franchise. So shout out Atlanta for that. Just beat up on the Boston Celtics last night. I saw that. Shout out Atlanta. Jalen Johnson is going to be a perennial all-star in this league. I can absolutely say that. And then number 7 seed is Philadelphia, followed by Orlando. Orlando has had a very disappointing season. Pablo Banchero was supposed to have been step up to be an MVP candidate. That has not happened. So they find themselves in that 8th seed. Number 9 is Miami Heat. Miami Heat, interesting. I don't know if anybody saw that stat that was pretty going famous yesterday on Twitter, but Joe Mazzulla for the Boston Celtics, just comparing 2 East teams, has had 40 years in 4 50-plus win seasons. Eric Spoelstra in 18 seasons had 4 total. Just kind of says everything you need to know. Joe Mazzulla is a top-tier coach in this league and will be for a lot of years to come if he decides to keep coaching, if he doesn't go into a GM spot. All right, Charlotte Charlotte's doing amazing. Nipple has been one of my favorite players to watch this season. Him and LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball has had to give up some of his side to be able to, let Nipple do everything that he needs to do. So shout out him. Nipple has been an unbelievable player, and really, really fun player to watch this season. Next is Milwaukee, 29-45, and they are the first team out that is eliminated. Giannis and the Bucks could not get it done this season. Giannis has a lot on his mind for the future of where he's going to be ending up. I do not think it will be in Milwaukee next season. I almost guarantee that it will not be in Milwaukee next season, and a lot of those East teams will be calling. Obviously, then some of the West teams, obviously Warriors, and then in our Spurs, if the Spurs don't make a call, I'll be aggravated, but they gotta at least inquire. They gotta at least inquire about what Giannis could be. What could that deal be if they try to get him to the Spurs? I don't think it would be happening. But Wembyana and obviously Giannis combo would be the craziest two forwards I've seen ever. Only one else to add to that group is like Bol. So yeah. Other things from the East. I think two teams that will be good next year that I don't Brooklyn and Chicago, I pretty much have zero faith in either of those teams. Obviously going ahead, I just don't believe in them. And then Washington and Indiana are two teams I do think they have a good future. Washington next year is going to be having with Trae Young and Anthony Davis, so that team is going to be renewed. Obviously, it's all about injuries with Anthony Davis, if he can stay healthy or not. So we will see about that. And then Washington, and then Indiana is obviously Tyrese Halliburton, and we'll get one of the top few picks. So they'll be coming back in a vengeance next year. I'm not too worried about Indiana as much as I would be worried about Brooklyn and Chicago that I don't see having much future in this next few seasons. But we'll see where things has happened, and other things have surprised me. So, we will see. All right. We are just got the playoffs right around the corner. And I just really did want to talk, but one of the best things that I'm watching right now is The Pit. The Pit is one of the best shows on television. I just finished season 1. I know it's season 2 right now. But it is honestly one of the best shows I've watched in recent memory. Dr. Robbie, he won best actor of the year last year, and Dana, who was winning best supporting actor. She has been unbelievable in the show. I'm really loving the relationship with Robbie and Langdon, a very complex relationship between them two. And then all of the learning doctors, obviously, just like their nicknames, Huckleberry, Santos. I really loving all the cast, and I can definitely see why this was the best picture of the year last year. Unbelievable show that I'm really looking forward to continue watching into season 2. I wonder if they'll ever make spin-offs like this for like fire departments or police departments. But we've kind of seen those kind of shows before. This is kind of its own thing. Really love how they pick up on modern topics and blend them into the show. I don't know if I've ever seen a show that takes place all within like a 12-hour stretch. All the hours of the show represent 1 hour on the clock. So a really, really cool show of how they pace it out, and they kind of get in every storyline that's going on in that year. Not just like obviously it takes all place over a day, but they kind of get all the storylines going into the year and current events that they can blend into the show. So one of my favorite shows on television, really unexpected watch. I'm not really into the medical shows and things like that. So really been loving it. Season 2 is out now. Gonna be watching that. A couple episodes in and really, really loving it. Same cast, which is always great that they got the same cast back. So really looking forward to this show, and this show is definitely they gotta make a few different seasons of this, and definitely season 2. I'm already watching the first few episodes, and it definitely is an award-winning show. Clearly, I don't know how doctors do it. To be honest, I do not know how anybody goes into the medical field with that stuff going on. It's insane, and all the shout out to them because that's really, really tough to see. I personally couldn't. All right, well, that's all I have for Spurs latest. I hope you liked my review a little of the pit, everything Spurs, everything around the NBA. And I will see you in the next one. Go Spurs, go. And thanks for joining me. Let's go Spurs. We've got the Warriors tonight. Let's just get this going into the playoffs all good. I'll see you in the next one.